What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition. We're talking golf tonight, DFS and betting at the Genesis Open. This is AC with DFS Karma and BetKarma.com. As always, I got Sam in the house. Sam, we're going to talk about Pebble Beach last week. We'll get into the course breakdown at Riviera this week. I'm so excited because this is one of my favorite courses the entire year, which I'm sure it is for you too. This field is stacked. It's loaded. We have pretty much all the big dogs here. I think there's only a couple guys missing. We kind of have a lot to go over, game theory wise. I think this is a shorter field, 120 men, I believe, Sam. So let's get into last week a little bit. Tell me about your DFS week, your betting week. I'll get into mine in a second as well. Any takeaways from Pebble? Awesome finish, I guess, by Berger. That last shot, incredible. I'm sure you were watching down the stretch, but yeah, let's hear it. Last week, how'd it go?
I finally had a solid one. I had Berger in my main lineup and cash, and I mean, I was like, I didn't bet him because I don't like the number, but I thought he definitely was very live to win. I was totally wrong. So I was trolling you. I mean, Spieth did show out again. He played real. I mean, Sunday. I don't think Sunday he even choked. He just didn't win. I mean, Berger I think it's obvious, but Berger just went out and won. He just played really well.
He balled out. He just balled out.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, that just happens. He deserved to win. He played like a hard ass and he made all the putts. And I think some people don't like Berger. I don't even know why. I like him a lot. I think he's kind of just does his own thing. His swing is kind of weird, but he just kind of does his own thing. I think for a while he wasn't known as a big winner because he only won that FedEx, that one before before the US Open, but now there's a couple wins on his belt, so I was glad for him. I mean, it was good. I mean, I had a 5 of 6 in my main in my cash that cashed pretty easily. I mean, it was a high 6 of 6 rate, but obviously having Berger, I had Tringali, which he totally showed out. I wish he made that last putt because I would have gotten a lot back for that top 5, but yeah, it was a solid week. I missed obviously on Spieth. I should have played him. I did manage, I think, to navigate those the cheaper chalk. I keep not playing Harold Varner and he keeps missing the cut. I don't know why people are so obsessed with playing him, but
we talked about that last week. I mean,
I don't know. It's weird. I think people are going to play him again this week too, but obviously Pebble is fun to watch. It was so much better to watch without the stupid amateurs. Oh my God. That was just way better. Yeah.
The field was weak in general, so the cream did kind of rise to the top. At the end of the day, for me, I'll get into my side of things. I mean, yes, not to tout my own horn here, but I'm 6-0 this year. I'm laughing because it's incredible because I know I mushed the next 6 weeks. But hey, that's golf. I've never started out this hot, and when I say 6-0, I do. And Sam, I mean, we're on here in full transparency. I mean, that's the core play that we sell for our premium subscribers. Sam finished in the cash line again as well last week. You can access this, dfskarma.com, spelled as sounds. Go to the subscriptions package. You'll see it under golf or MVP. You can unlock all the sports. There's a lot going on, man, with NASCAR, NBA, NHL, everything under the sun, esports. It's awesome how much of a brand has grown under our umbrella. But in specific, I'm just going to run through like I've done the last few podcasts. My core, Jordan Spieth, a little bit lower owned than I thought. I did have an outright bet on him. I was kind of trolling people in Bet Karma, or maybe it was DFS Karma Discord. I really did think he was going to pull it off. Deep down, I knew he wouldn't win. I was running Aronson on Sunday, and luckily I saw him tanking early, so I didn't even care. But it did suck because I had a really nice outright bet on him. I did have an outright on Norlander and a couple other guys like Streelman. I mean, there was we had multiple guys in the hunt. Unfortunately, didn't take it down. But I digress. We'll look back to getting the lab in the Bet Karma side of things this week. I also had Jason Day, who I thought was going to be a lot higher owned. Again, he still was owned. I'm talking relative DFS talk. Kevin Streelman, again, he was owned, but he was part of my core. And then Russell Knox. And again, I always like to get a couple guys, at least I try at least hard for one guy to be somewhat lower owned. I mean, there's always going to be some ownership, but I had him at 3%, dude, everywhere. You name it, cash games, single entry, GPPs, 3 max, whatever. And Russell Knox was a major difference maker for me in my lineup. I also had Doug Gim and Adam Schenk for the record. Those are my two fill-ins that the blanks I left open. But Russell Knox was 3% owned. And, dude, he was in second place most of the weekend. And I don't know if you saw, but unfortunately, he got dinged.
I saw that. That was terrible. I don't get why they do this thing where it's like, okay, yeah, you might have a penalty to just keep playing. Like, what? Like, it's so dumb.
He missed a 3-footer after they told him that. I mean, it's golf, dude. I mean, after that it was over, and he didn't fall that much. But again, when you go from second place to seventh, you do lose a decent amount of DraftKings points, and I hate being that guy. I mean, again, I crushed, but I was in that like elite top 3 to top 4 percentile of potentially not taking down a GPP because I only had 5 or 6, but I was right there for a massive win. Ultimately turned out to just be a good win. So anyways, you can head over to the website, sign up, talk to us in chat, check out our core plays, whether you're going to play them or not, and then check out the projections portal. That's what Sam puts together for us. That portion is under that umbrella as well. All right, let's get into this week, Sam. I went through your article. Sergio Coverboy, intriguing. Not going to lie, because I was debating him. If I don't know if I have time to play MME this week. This might be the first week I don't. And frankly, for everybody that does 150 lineups, when the field is smaller, I think, Sam, you'll agree, it's harder, in my opinion, to win when you max enter, just because there's less people that make the cut. So, I might do a 20 max entry, and I might get weird and just lock a couple guys and just see what happens. Some guys that are, projecting to be lower owned in the projections portal. But you're looking at, a par 71 this week. This is coming straight from your content. 7,200 yards. There's 3 par 5s, narrow fairways. You're looking at 25 yards wide on average. So again, we're starting to think about the golfers we want. Smaller than average greens, post surface, and the average cut generally is around +2. So don't freak out, everybody. Don't start tilting away when your guys +1, +3.
This course is hard. Like, this course is no joke. I think if it's like not talked about, like, it's pretty tough. Like, I know the winning score could be like 12 under, but it's not that easy, like, at all. I think it's perfect.
Well, let's get into it. Who you like up top? 10K and above.
I mean, okay, but just get Dustin Johnson is the best play. Like, he is what it is. That's just the fact. You don't need to talk about it. Like, if you want to play DJ, if you don't want to play him, it's just because you don't want to have the ownership. That's all. He's the best player in the world right now. It's not close. He's won a lot, and he's the best player. But my pivot in my article, Justin Thomas, I think, is going to go overlooked just because he's the second highest, and DJ is just so far above everyone else. So for me, I mean, it's tough. There's so many. It's kind of a murderer's row here, but the top, my favorites are JT and Rahm. I like DJ. Obviously, I'll probably end up playing him in single entry and 3 max. It's tough because you kind of need him to come top 5, but let's be honest, he probably will. And then those are kind of my guys. I mean, I'm not playing Bryson. Xander is the worst. I don't know. Xander, for me, I'll either play him in cash just so I don't get burned like I do every time, and that's it, or I'll full fade him and just take the pain. But I think the two guys for me up there are Rahm and JT, and besides DJ. And then, I don't know, I'm interested to see your thoughts on Rory. I'm interested to see your thoughts on Brooks, and then we'll kind of move down after that. But those are kind of, you have to take a stand somewhere, and I can't play all those guys.
So I think there's 2 things this week. I think, and again, we'll get to the next range in a second, but I'll kind of steal the thunder a bit. I would assume, just knowing how the DFS bubble generally likes to operate and think, I would assume a lot of smart people, and I think this is a incredibly sharp route this week, is probably starting your lineup, again, quote unquote, cash games with Patrick Cantlay, and we'll get to that range in a second.
Yep.
In the event that you don't, which I have no problem with, I mean, I've kind of changed my game the last couple of years in DFS golf. Like, I'll gladly take a guy up top, especially in a 120-man field. To me, maybe call it dumb luck. I've been able to make the laser vision, whatever you want to call it, like the play, the right guy up top. And I think this week, and it's nothing against any of these other guys, we don't need to talk about all of them. You and I do a good job of kind of literally overlooking the top end every week because they're all elite plays. I think I'm going with John Rahm this week. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. I mean, early in the projections portal, which does update, he's projected to be one of the lower owned guys up top. I already like that. That's a check mark. I love the lower owned top end guy, no matter kind of who it is. John Rahm's always my favorite. Generally speaking, I talk about that the last few years. And at the end of the day, I don't know. Rahm just, I feel like I don't want to say burnt people at the Waste Management, but he was the guy. He was chalk. And I just know how people think. Like, they're going to be more apt to go, oh, I'll just try and get to DJ if I'm going to go up top. Or, oh, Cantlay's right there. I'll start with Cantlay. Or Xander has been on fire. I do love Xander. I'm not going to lie. Maybe he's a guy at lock in MME with those 20 lineups and 20 max entry. But I'm starting with Bryson John Rahm, this week. I just love his long-term form. I just think that this is potentially his week. I really do.
Did you see what I put in my article? I could not believe this stat. He's gained off the tee in every tournament since August of 2019. How is that possible?
He's incredible. He should have more wins by now. I
know.
And I feel like
it's not that he's not a winner. It's just that he should have more wins. It's not that he doesn't win. He should have had double this.
Exactly. Yeah. He will win in a flurry. When he wins once and then twice and then three times, it'll happen very fast. And
that's what I said in my article. It's like he has like 3 top 7s in his last 4. It doesn't even seem like he's playing that well. I feel like he's like left some out there. Yeah, I mean, the Xander play, like he is playing really well. I mean, at that price, before it's like when he's like a top 2 or 3 price guy, he kind of like you can't falter and finish us at the top 10. I think he'll probably end up like he always is, one of the highest owned, maybe besides DJ. I don't know. I never feel uncomfortable fading Xander because I know when he doesn't luck box the putter, he's not as solid. But I agree with the Cantlay take. I think Cantlay is actually underpriced. He's playing so well, and that's chalk I'll eat. You'll be shocked to hear me say I think Finau is underpriced too.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to sell me on the stat god himself.
No. I mean, do I think he's going to win? Obviously not. But like 9,300. I mean, why is he cheaper than Morikawa, who hasn't played in like a month? I mean, I don't know. I think he's a little underpriced. I think a lot of these guys in this range moving down. I mean, are you going to go back to Spieth? Because I have no interest.
Absolutely not. I am not touching him with a 6-foot pole here. I mean,
he will not miss these fairways. You cannot miss these fairways. That's all he does. Last week, Peel and Reza, you can miss the fairways at Pebble. Doesn't really matter. This rough is so hard to get out of. It. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you keep going down this tier. I mean, Hideki, normally Hideki would be a thing.
On Hideki? I think he actually might go one of the lower owned. He's gone in a while.
I know. Well,
I don't know.
People are just tired of him. It's the same freaking song and dance. He is obviously one of the world's elites, but people are just, we know the story. Like, give me something different. I mean, that's where we're at, right? All these other guys, it's like in the same range. Any of these other guys can outperform Hideki. I just don't see Hideki's upside at least at this point in time. You're right.
I made a joke. I made a joke in my article. It's kind of true. Like, I feel like if I'm playing Sergio, I'm playing the same player.
Yeah, no, that was actually, an amazing line. I mean, it is Sergio. He's 2,000 cheaper or whatever. So
yeah, Hideki overall is like probably a better iron player, but like Sergio's solid. He's all top. But they both suck at putting, but they both just capture like one time a year they putt their ass off, and that's like all you need. But
I thought a big tell in this Hideki conversation in the betting market, which again, I'm not going to come on here and talk about all of our bets because we do like to keep it premium for the folks. The one guy I'll say in particular, like I love Colin Morikawa this week for so many reasons. I think he's going to be under-owned in DFS, relatively speaking. Mm-hmm. And I liked the tell in the betting market in multiple books where, he's got 5% to 10% better odds than Hideki. I mean, the Vegas sports books are telling you, the difference in the type of players that Hideki is falling towards. And I probably won't have Colin in my main lineup. I really want him in there. I'm going to take a final look at projections, but I just love him on this type of course. I know that you're not as high on him per se, but he's long irons, man. West Coast guy, obviously, kind of flying a little bit under the radar. That's why I did fire the bet on him because he does have that type of upside where he can just come in here and win. But dude, I love Morikawa this week.
Yeah, I mean, I like him more from the betting side of it. Like, I think he has some of the better win equity of the top, I don't know, call it the top 15 guys price. My thing is more like I just haven't seen him play analytical. I mean, he's been overseas, but it's just a thing I say all the time. Like, I just would rather play Cantlay, or believe it or not, I'd rather play Finau.
Let me say this. This reminds me of Scotty Sheffler 4 or 5 weeks ago. And then go into the waste management. We sat on here, we talked, and we said kind of similar things, right? and we said, but he's going to be lower owned, but we're not sure. That's the vibe I got right now. I mean, I want to get on these guys a little bit earlier, and that's something I try to always do with my lineups. I don't know my final construction right now of my core play, but I really hope that somehow Morikawa, and I'm going to eye up your projections portal, I'd love to see him come down to that 10% range of projected ownership, because to me, I would love to play him over Patrick Cantlay and like get that natural leverage. So don't want to keep harping on that.
The only reason I think he could end up a little higher is only because Berger withdrew. I think that is going to have a little more on there, but I agree with you that he's a good. I mean, the only one with bet. I think it's funny that no one's going to play Brooks again. Probably me too.
No one's going to play Brooks. No one ever. I mean, he can obviously easily win here, and you're projecting him to be very low owned. I mean, again, this is a guy using the lineup optimizer. Again, I'm just looking at the color code. Like, you make it very easy for us. Boom. Brooks sticks out. He's green in the projected ownership. Just literally lock him in. I mean, why not? I mean,
if I was playing 20, like, you just play like 20% of him and you're going to be double the field.
But probably no Brooks, obviously, in cash. Let's go down, though, so we keep this going. Adam Scott's going to be on right. I mean, he's never missed a cut here. Everybody loves Adam Scott. He's beautiful. He's gorgeous. He has the best swing on the planet. I do like Adam Scott, and I think you can play him in your main lineup.
Yeah,
and in cash.
It's tough because I don't really love him. Last year, he was my biggest hit. Like, that was like the most raw money I won, because I bet him like 4 times at different numbers. I just was so confident, and he did come away with it. So I feel some obligation. The interesting one for me, I'm shocked. I've kind of want to go on the industry to make these ownership. I mean, Bubba will end up higher on this, I think. He's obviously won here 3 times. I bet Bubba. I don't know if I want to play him. I get why he's his price, and it's a Bubba track, and it's not that he's even played poorly. But, man, I just like Joaquin Niemann so much more, and Victor Hovland. I just like them so much better than Bubba. It's not even close.
Joaquin is just – the dude is just so good. I mean, I don't think people talk about him enough. He's kind of entered that weird pricing category, though, 8,800. He's starting to get way up there. So he's got to come through. It's interesting, though. You're projecting him at 17%. I never would have guessed Niemann would have been that high. I did guess. I'll let you talk about Hovland. Me and you, that's the second bet. It's the only bet you and I are both on, I think, this week. The same bet. All right. We both like him. Tell me why you like him, though.
I mean, I don't know. So first of all, he did break, for a while. I was like, oh God, is he gonna be the next phenom who can't win? But he can win. He won in December. His stats are all good. I mean, his putting has actually gotten better, but I actually think I like Hovland most because his off the tee game is so solid, because he has the distance, which I mentioned is sneaky important here. And on top of that, he may not be the best putter, but he, in a similar way to kind of Hideki, at least Hideki used to be, he doesn't make these huge numbers. Like, his chipping used to be horrendous, but it's gotten a little bit better. And while I'm normally critical of it, he doesn't make these huge doubles, triples, quads, which can happen here, which is why I like him and why I like Niemann, where it's like, when I look at someone like Bubba or below him, Leishman, who I do not like this week at all, they are very capable of making like that huge 6 or 7. And that, to me, I mean, I think these two guys are just much more consistent. And Hovland, it's still so young in his career to kind of have, like, to be fair on his putting splits, but same with Niemann. But I just think that this is the kind of course where, with the smaller greens and the putting being tougher for everyone, I think it actually levels the playing field for both of them even more.
Hovland's strokes gained, besides driving distance and all that jazz, which we know off the tee are incredible. Yeah. The reason why it was like an auto bet for me, and I tried to get the bets in early, I don't even know if it moved, but I knew that you were probably thinking the same thing. The dude hits fairways with his bomb drives more frequently than most. He gains an extreme amount of not just good drives, but fairways gain relative to most people on the tour. It's almost like DJ, like, when DJ's just, I mean, he is DJ, so he's always like this, but he plows drives, and it's like, damn, they're just always center cut. Hovland has that in him, and then he hits a ton of green. So it's like, my thought process is, a lot of people are going to complain about the around the green game, blah, 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 but he just what if he's hitting every green? What if he's really only putting generally, which he has that upside? And, I'd rather have him over Niemann, I guess, if I had to pick. Same price.
Hovland's last 5 starts, 6th, 2nd, 31st, 3rd, 1st. I'd say that's pretty good. I'd take that all day.
All right, let's move on, because we got a lot of other guys. Just real quick, I do like Scotty Sheffler. I don't want to talk about it too much. I know he's a Jekyll and Hyde guy kind of lately, but I put an outright bet on him. I know I said earlier I'm not going to talk about all my bets. That's like 2 or 3. I don't think I'm going to play him in my main lineup, but dude, he was hanging at 50-1. And I was like, man, this guy has a lot of upside to be just dangling there at 50-1 in a Bombers course. I mean, I love the bet.
Yeah.
I do like him in DFS for GPPs.
The guy in this range kind of is, I mean, I don't love a ton in the low 8s. The one I will say is interesting is everyone has been obsessed with Will Zelotoris. And he had like one off week where he barely made the cut and finished like 2 over. And now he's going to be like under 10% and is like $1,000, $2,000 cheaper. Pretty interesting if you ask me.
I do like me some Willie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying like he's $100 more than Max Homa and he is better than Max Homa. I don't care.
Wow. I'm looking at his long iron game, which obviously we're really breaking down this week, especially in your article. Yeah. Dude, it's elite. Holy crap.
He's good.
He's going to be a really good play this week.
Yeah. Are you planning Matthew Wolfe? I think a lot of people like him because this should fit his game. He just has been not consistent. I don't know what it is.
One of those guys that I personally enjoy watching him, but like if you really look under the tape, he's just not playing well, and I don't want anything to do with him. I know I see people probably betting him and probably DFS. I'm not touching him. I'll X him out of my player pool.
If you want a GPP, like kind of he'll be leveraged because no one ever plays him. I know you and I play him sometimes. If I don't like him, is Kevin Na. Like this is actually like a Kevin Na.
Kevin Na's won me so much money in my life in DFS and betting. Yeah, what is this? I didn't even see him in this field.
79, like great long iron player and can get insanely high with the putter. The problem is like if he starts out bad, he's done. Like if his front 9 is like 3 over, he's gonna shoot a million. But
all right, talk about your boy Carlos Ortiz, who we found out and I've been touting for 3 years.
What can I say that we don't already know? I mean, he's so elite. I mean, I will say I don't even know if I took credit for it, but last week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, no one's gonna play Ortiz again because he faltered on Sunday. And look what he did last week. He like held, or not Pebble, but the week before that, he like held the clubhouse lead on Sunday after firing like a 9 under or something. I was like, that's my guy. And I don't know. I just think he's so solid and kind of, I don't think people think of him as like an elite talent, but he's going to be chalk. I'll play the chalk anyway. He could burn me, but I'm okay with it.
Real quick, I'm just kind of looking at his stats. I mean, the thing that scares me, he's gaining so many strokes putting, and his iron game is pretty mediocre, if not really bad right now. He's a good driver of the ball, so I just like he hits a lot of fairways. He just has sneaky distance. I will say it's concerning because it's like how we both got so off Sam Burns that we gained like 150,000 strokes putting the week before. I was like, there's just no way that's sustainable. But Ortiz, I mean, if I see kind of even more towards tomorrow and he's gonna be like towards 20%, I'm fine playing him in cash and not in past that. I mean, I bet Ortiz, obviously, like I always do, but look at me just naming all my bets too. But Sergio, I like, obviously. I'll probably go back to Siwoo Kim. He burned me last week when he shot like 100 over on day 2, but that's who he is. He just will like win or come top 5 and then miss the cut. Like that's just his game. And no one ever plays him, like ever. I'm glad I really do. Like, I'm not just saying this because you're my dog and, we rep the company here, but I like being on these pods because I feel like I learn things at times. And, I know you wrote up Ortiz and it makes sense. I'm not knocking you writing him up, of course, but even just being on this podcast, it's like, why do I want to play a 20% Ortiz at 7,800? Because you're projecting him. I'm looking now. I didn't realize he's going to be the highest owned guy in this range. And what do we talk about every week around this time of the podcast? Who cares how good these players are at this price point? Like, I got to find the Russell Knox this week. I mean, I really do. And I know you brought up Kevin Na. I mean, there's other guys down here, but there's just no way. I think in my temporary lineup, I actually do have Ortiz because I like him, but I don't want to play him after looking at his putting, his iron game. That's just me. Take it for what it's worth, but I probably now will be fading Ortiz, honestly, in all formats.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love Cameron Davis, but at 7,500 and going to be one of the chalkier plays, like that's an easy fade. Like he's a terrible putter, so he doesn't putt well like he did. He was my one and done pick. Got lucky on Sunday that he made a bunch of putts, but like if Cameron Davis is going to be 13 or 15, like that's an auto. No, you do not play him with that.
He's striking the ball very well.
So Ricky Fowler is the same price as James
Whoa,
Hahn.
he's in this
That's the
field?
thing. I know. I don't know what's going on with Rick. I said I'm like still not ready to play him last week. The putter still is bad. He's not hitting it bad. He just can't putt to save his life, and he knows it. And boy, this is like 2%, 7,500. I mean, he's cheaper than Cameron Tringali. That's a thing.
I mean, crazy, man. Golf is wild. How things change very fast.
I mean, I don't know.
I won't. What's the ownership? What do you project?
I'm at
2%. Oh my god! Wow.
Because I think what has he missed? What has he missed 4 cuts in a row now?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, dude, my boy Norlander's down here. I didn't know he was playing this week.
Yeah.
I gotta check out.
Dude,
I gotta look into some Norlander. This guy's been like.
We both had Norlander outrights, and after like day 2, I was like, "Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do this right now?" I was like, "Double win for man."
I'll tell you what, man. Norlander, the amount of fairways he hits, he's hitting all these greens in reg. He's just a guy that like lingers. And let's be real, he's not a guy that's gonna go win a course that's under 22 under, right? This potentially could be that type of setup. I mean, he's intriguing. What are you projecting him at ownership wise? I feel like people don't like him. Yeah, 5%. People don't like him in DFS because you know why? I brought this up last year. His pitcher in DFS, he looks like not like a non-DraftKings player. I don't know how
he looks hideous. Yeah, he's hideous. I mean, I like him. I mean, the problem is I don't know. I have to look into it because like I have him ranked like he's top 20 in my off the tee rank, but I don't know if he hits it that far. Because the thing is like, okay, it's dumb to like only make decisions off something like driving distance, but when you're getting down to this level, like that's the kind of tiebreaker. It's like, okay, if I'm looking at a guy like I love Kevin Streelman, but he does not hit the ball that far. So like if I'm making a tiebreaker between him and someone like I don't know, like Luke List, who I unfortunately am probably going to play, like I'll side with List, even though List is probably worse because he has more opportunity to make birdies and eagles. So
let me ask you this. I'm looking at the projections portal. A guy, now I'm resonating with the Cameron Tringali of like the last few weeks. Like we get to this point in the pod, we're getting into low 7Ks. It's like, how do we find the winning play? I already had Corey Connors in my lineup. I just assumed he was mega chalk, and you're only projecting him for 7%. But in the karma value on the projections portal, it's like striking how he sticks out, and that's how I think about him in my mind. I think about him as value, and then I'm looking at my model, and it's like it confirms that he's an elite play this week. Why is he kind of going overlooked? Is it because there's like Cameron Davis and these other guys down here?
Yeah, I think it's because he doesn't have those like insanely high finishes. And I think it's just, despite what I think about how, people in DFS in general, like especially golf, have gotten a lot sharper, there's just always these things where like, okay, someone looks at Cameron Tringali, they see he finished top 10 last week and he's played here 9 times with like 5 top 20s, and they see Corey Connors has played once and missed the cut, and they're like, well, that's obviously, Cameron Tringali's the play, forgetting that people are different players than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. So I mean, you don't need to sell me on Corey Connors. I just think it's because, I think people think that these other guys make more birdies or something, and everyone knows that Connors is a terrible putter, but dude, his putting's been a lot better.
Not that bad. He's not that bad.
The fact that he ranks this week for me 88th in putting, that's a huge improvement. He used to be like 119th out of 120.
All right, let's start to round this up. Other guys I like. I love Luke List as always. I mean, Jesus, it's not Bermuda, so that scares me. But who else down here? Because it does kind of get thin. I mean, Lanto Griffin, I actually had an outright on him a few weeks ago. Keegan's down here. He looked better, dude, man. I'll never forget.
The way my model sets up, like I roll left to right, and I'm like, oh, Keegan, 9th tee to green, second approach, here we go. And then it's like putting last, like, bogey avoidance, second. Yeah, I will go back to KH Lee. He's sick. It wasn't a one-time thing. He like is never had a high finish like that, like he did 2 weeks ago, but he's like actually good. I'll play my buddy Wyndham Clark, obviously, good POA putter.
That's my guys. I'm stealing my guys.
Yeah, but I actually like know him. You don't. I like. Wow,
17th here last year too, man. He's been striping the ball. I mean, I like that play a lot.
I'm playing Matt Jones again
in a main lineup.
Yeah, because if Wyndham like sucks, at least like I know there was a chance he could do well. Like Keegan, it's like I know how this ends. You know, it's
So
like I don't.
I will say though, I saw an interview with Keegan at the Waste Management in the third round, and I think I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
he claims that he's like in a really good spot for what it's worth. Like he claims he's right there, and the stats have never lied. He just always never had a putter. So
No.
this course,
I mean,
you don't need to score a lot, right? I mean, you said it.
I'm probably falling for the cheap chalk. I like Gim under 7,000. I'm going to play Matthew Neesmith. Matthew Neesmith is going to win a tournament sooner rather than later. And
wait, he's top?
Well, yeah, because like he's like the cheap guy that like people see make a ton of birdies. I mean, he like the fact that last week he was 8,000, now he's 6,900, and that's like a pretty steep decline. I mean, different in field, but dude, he's gonna pop in stat miles. He's pretty damn good. He also has a dumb looking face too, so it always keeps his ownership a little bit less.
Oh my God, Russell Knox is down here. I mean, I know this isn't that kind of course, but I can't believe like my guys, they're here. Like,
dude, take your winnings of Russell Knox. He will not do that for you again.
I know.
My one play I'm interested in kind of, and he has been bad. Charles Howell III at 6,800. Like he is in his career been a California guy. He's played pretty well here. I think you could do worse, especially because, like we said about other guys, he doesn't need to get to 25 under. Like if he can just not make big numbers and for the tournament shoot 6 under, he could come like top 25. And I don't mind. Oh my God, Sebastian Munoz is 6,800. Oh my God.
Yeah, he'll end up top 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's another guy. I'll probably bet him after we end this pod. I mean, I don't love anyone really below. I like Michael Thompson at 67, and that's kind of the lowest of anyone I like, honestly.
Yeah, there's not many guys down here. I'll take a look at Harold Varner's ownership only because he hurt people last week. He didn't hurt me. So if he's mega low owned, I might go over owned if I do, in fact, make like 20 lineups or something. Adam Long's down here at 6,500. I mean, Lucas Glover's down here. I mean, that's interesting, but
I play Adam Long like every week. So if I don't play him this week, he'll probably do pretty well. So you could play him. I mean,
Vaughn Taylor I played Vaughn Taylor in Showdown on Sunday.
Only guy I can see people playing down here. People for some reason like to play Wesley Bryan. I have no idea why. I do not know why. Like
I haven't played Wesley Bryan since Harbor Town, like 9 years.
I haven't either. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why he hasn't been relevant since then either. I mean, there's some guys. I mean, I don't know. The problem is like it's hard to differentiate because like all these guys will look so bad for the rest of the field, but you have to remember like what their price is. Like I don't know. I keep playing Mark Hubbard and he keeps letting me down, but I don't know.
That's it, man.
Howard
That's
Duncan's
all I got. Anything else?
Yep. No. Everyone should watch this tournament because the 10th hole is like one of the better holes on the PGA Tour, in my opinion. It's so fun.
Give us a like on the YouTube channel if y'all are watching there. Obviously, give us a shout out on Twitter if you have any big wins. Join the community, the Discord chat. Check out all the things under the subscription product category at both DFS Karma and Bet Karma. That's it, guys. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.